Welcome everybody, welcome to another FPTV behind the scenes, and today we're looking at the recently released video Where My Key's At. Had some cool effects going on in this one, but the main one of course is where we spin the camera around Bradley, we spin it around Thunderman, Wendy, me. So yeah, we're going to be taking a look at that and breaking all the effects down, how you can do this exact same thing with all the stuff here we have at FPTV. So yeah, enjoy this breakdown. Alright, so what we have here is just some basic establishing shots. I like picking up some of these establishing shots at the very beginning of the shoot to kind of drop those nice little titles in. Of course, we have the FPTV Presents at the very beginning. We have the Where My Key's At title right here. We do have an insert shot right here. One thing I find that a lot of people do is they shoot too many inserts. And that is one thing I like to try to avoid because you really don't need that many inserts. Notice that we've only used 1, 2, 3, 4 shots up until this point, and that's really all you need. You don't need a ton of inserts for walking. You only need the wides, the mediums. I'm going to pause and come over here. Let's take a look at some of these audio transitions. I find it's always a good thing to use audio transitions, just some very simple constant gains and constant powers, fancy talk just for fades really. Sometimes you can hear the cuts as you see them, and so just fading between audio tracks I find really helps like break that up. So I move over here to a slightly closer shot, and now we move into the actual spinny portion of this. And for this, we did this in After Effects. So we actually used 2 programs for this. We used After Effects, Adobe After Effects, and then we used DaVinci Resolve. DaVinci Resolve is what we're in right now. I'm going to hop over to After Effects and let's take a look at this. Alright, so up on the top we have a couple compositions. The first one we need to look at is this one entitled All the Stuff. I am amazing at naming these things, can't you tell? So let's hop into All the Stuff. Alright, so here we are in All the Stuff, and we do not have a background layer right here. We shot every single one of these actors in front of a green screen. Devontae, Bradley, myself included, all of us just in a green screen, and we didn't have the proper tools to really make this work. We based this video off of the Girls Like You music video by Maroon 5, and we figured out that we really couldn't recreate this like they did. So we actually had our actors stand in front of a green screen and literally just spin. The camera was on a tripod, we locked it down. What we have going here is Bradley's layer is on the top, Devontae's is on the bottom. And then we've just keyframed them. You can see the little line keyframe right there to separate out, to give them some space to where they're not overlapping. And then we cut to where now we have Bradley cutting to right here. So now Bradley is on the bottom. This Devontae layer cuts to Devontae on the top. So now when they cross back over, Devontae is actually going to be on top, and we can get that kind of simulated rotating effect. And we had to achieve all that here in the green screen room. We did not have the luxury of being able to recreate it perfectly every time. I'm sure with a motorized type of gimbal that they had available to them. So a lot of this is just wash, rinse, and repeat. You can see a lot of these, the positional path that we're taking them. So we have Wendy here. She is masked by Devontae. Wiping out as she is wiping in. They come to that point where they're about 50-50 on the screen, so Wendy's on one side, Devontae's on the other, and then we cut back to Wendy being on top and then Devontae being on bottom, and then Wendy wipes in front of Devontae and Devontae's layer ends. And then we come here to the end with me. So the good thing about this last one was Bradley wasn't being wiped away anymore. So we had me being wiped in from behind Dana Mayfield. Dana Mayfield disappears, and now we have me just being wiped out by Bradley, but Bradley can simply stay there. So that is what we had for that composition, that top composition that you're seeing right there. That whole tan line is what we just looked at. Now we're going to look at the background layer. So this is the background layer, and the way that we actually achieved this was we put the camera on a dolly and literally just walked the camera in circles, and this was to get our base plate. Now this was very shaky, very inconsistent. I am not the best human dolly, as it turns out. So it required a lot of stabilization, a lot of speed ramping. You can see the time remapping right there is what we're looking at. So we had to time remap it to make sure that it was a constant speed, a constant turn, if you will, throughout the entire video. And you can see that this background layer is a lot bluer than what we end up with right here. And that is because we applied some color correction on top of all of this. We used adjustment layers, and then of course we just applied color corrections to the individual compositions. The last thing that we did was we added some handheld motion to it. I find that that really adds a lot of realism sometimes, is just simply adding some handheld motion. So you can see this wiggle expression right here, wiggle 2,42. That means it's wiggling 2 times per second at 42% of the null. We attached it to a null. For those of you who don't know, a null is basically an invisible layer that you can assign properties to. And then you can attach your other layers to those same properties. So we used this null to create a wiggle expression, and then we attached our 2 other compositions, our top layer and then our bottom layer, to that null. And that's how we ended up with the nice handheld look. Helps sell the effect a little bit more. And we end with Bradley's lines. Somebody must have stolen my keys. It must have been Caleb. We're just going to cut right back to the car. We did have the interstitial stuff, the stuff that we needed, like him walking back to the car and everything. I find that that's not really necessary all the time. You know, the audience can put that together just by themselves. So we just cut right back to him picking up his bag, zipping it up, and this is where he does a little bit of a double take right here. Camera is now inside the car, and we cut finally to the note with the keys. And that's kind of the payoff of this whole thing, is the keys are sitting on the note inside his car. And then of course we keyframe the audio mix, the song, to keyframe up to raise the volume as the video fades out. And so we go into those titles, we go into the sequence with crediting everybody. And you usually always want to raise the audio levels on those. Another thing that I want to point out really quick is we did crop this video frame. And so we shot this in 4K, we exported in 1080p. We actually cropped the top and the bottom to be that more like cinematic 239, 235. So that's all we have, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in to another FPTV behind the scenes video. Hope you enjoyed it. Like, comment, share this with your friends. Come into FPTV sometime. We'd love to see you. And always remember that no matter how cool or crazy any of these studio labs look, you can achieve everything with the equipment here at FPTV. So green screen, advanced field cameras, tripod sliders, everything like that is totally at your disposal. And you can make insane stuff just like we're doing here. Once again, thank you for your time, and I hope you have a great day.